everyone? Zeddy here again today with a bonus video because Blizzard has thrown out a teaser, an announcement for one of the largest balance patches in Hearthstone history. We are looking at 25 cards being buffed, 3 cards being nerfed, and the Deathlight class being nerfed entirely. We don't have the exact details, we just have the cards, so we'll go over every single card that's being nerfed, buffed, give our predictions, and of course we'll cover the patch notes, the official announcement once the patch notes do go live, or the patch goes live on Thursday. So in a couple of days, it's gonna be absolute madness. And know what else would be madness? If we could hit that 69,420 sub goal, get that next giveaway going, it'd be awfully nice. Sorry, I'm recording live and can't really edit, so sunglasses come on. But yes, these are all the changes outlined. We don't have specific numbers, but there are a ton, including, by the looks of it, 7 warrior buffs. And before we get into the card nerfs, it does look like Deathlight is getting reworked in some way, whether it's the hero power, the corpse mechanic, but more likely the discover rules, right? Discover is the big problem with Death Knight, and maybe they make it that if you're a blood deck, you can only discover blood cards. But that could be a buff too. Then you're gonna find Vampiric Bloods more often, Soul Stealers more often. So the other thing that I've heard of and people have talked about is making it so you can't discover triple rune cards. They're supposed to be incredible payoffs, and discovering them makes them a little too OP when, you know, Vampiric Blood, only 2 of them, isn't the worst thing in the world, but when it's like 4, 5, and 6, it's absurd. So maybe they change that. So it's got to be some kind of rule change because it's not a card change. So we'll find out on Thursday. But anyways, let's take a look at the cards. First card being nerfed, Rowdy Fan. It's a Quillbore, 3-mana, 1/5, Battlecry, choose a minion. It has +4 attack while this is alive. Really degenerate, mostly with like Lady Athena and Demon Hunter. You give that attack, it's ridiculous. I don't think like making it a 1/4 does a lot. I think you make this +3 attack, you slightly adjust it because Demon Hunter's not getting nerfed this patch. And Outcast is insane, and Relics are both nuts. And I don't know if this other stuff's gonna catch up. Like, I'm actually pretty worried there's not many nerfs. Astalor, of course, not getting hit. We can't have the finisher getting hit. Just Renethal, sorry, I'm still bitter. But yes, it's funny, I also got kind of ragged on for rating this card highly, and it's getting nerfed. So some justification on that one. But yeah, Rowdy Fan getting changed. Again, we don't know the changes, purely guessing. You can guess in the comments below as well. Overseer Frigidara is the Frost DK card to get nerfed, not the, Frostworm's Fury, the bane of everyone's existence. It's like the second best card pretty much in that deck. I imagine this goes to 7 mana, so you can't play it and curve into Frostworm's Fury. Other than that, like, you can make the stats worse, but does the stats matter that much on this card? Unless you're like destroying the stats, like you make it like a 3/4, then maybe, but I would expect a mana change. I don't expect it to only draw like 1 spell or deal 1 damage. I don't think they're going to Ancient of Lore it, but who knows? Anything's possible. So yeah, it's the only Deathlight card, and the other nerf is a wild nerf. Twig, I mean, it's going to refresh, right? Like, they're not going to take a durability off so you can't deal as much damage, right? No, I imagine it refreshes. You can still do crazy combos, but you have to unlock those 10 mana crystals first. Makes like the whole alignment worse too, right? So overall, it's a change that WoW's needed for a long time, and I'm very thankful they're doing it. There's a lot of other problems in WoW that are going to be very apparent very quickly right after this, but hey, you gotta take your victories where you can. But that's it for nerfs. That's literally it. Where are the buffs? So let's start with Warrior. They are buffing Verse Rift and Bridge Rift, not the draw one for some reason, but these two. I imagine they're a mana cheaper. I don't know what else you're doing. You could up the stats on these. You could up the armor and damage output on this, but just make it -1 mana. It makes it so much more flexible, and I imagine that's what they do. Frightened Flunky, I guess we got a 2/3 on our hands. 2/3 or 3/2, but it's a top minion, so probably 2/3. You're not making this 1 mana. So yeah, 2/3, I would imagine. Thori Balor is being buffed. This card has seen like no relevant play. I imagine it's just going to lose its limit, right? Like, why is there a limit on this card? It's just silly, and that's a huge buff for the card. So unless they're just making it a 5/5 or something, I've been pitching, and I know Regis has been pitching that too for a long time. Get rid of the revive limit, and maybe the card can see some play. Power Slider Can you at least make it a 1/3 like the Rogue card? It's all I ask. Maybe they do more than that. But yeah, the Rogue Rush one is a 1/3. I imagine Power Slider will be a 1/3. Shield Block getting buffed. So is it going to draw 2 cards or is it going to be 2 mana? Odd Warrior might be upset because Odd Warrior likes this card in Wild. Hasn't been a relevant deck in forever. But hey, that's a nerf to Odd Warrior if that's the case. But every other Warrior deck, I think, would love a 2 mana Shield Block or to draw 2 cards. Either way, I think that would be an awesome, awesome buff. Infatize the Maximitude, I imagine going to 1 mana. What else are you doing? You're not discovering 2 spells. That would be a little crazy and kind of awkward and not good. So yeah, probably goes to 1 mana, makes the card, you know, a lot more flexible, a lot better. Audio Splitter, I don't know what you're buffing with this. Like, are you getting 2 copies? Are you making it up? Like, it's already premium statted. It, like, you can make it 2 mana, I guess. You make it a 2 mana card. I'm really curious to see what this one will be because literally have no idea. Actually have no idea what you would change. Arcane Artificer, an old card that gains armor equal to the amount of the spell cost. So 6 mana Blizzard, you get 6 armor. Probably a 1/3, but maybe it doubles the armor gain. That'd be broken. Probably broken. Probably a 1/3. You're probably not making it 0 mana. So yeah, old card getting buffed. And yes, ooh, Spite Lash. Spite Laugh, it's getting reverted, right? 4 mana, 2/5. Like, what else are you doing with it? And I could play my Naga Mage that's super degenerate mana cheat. People hated it, and they were kind of happy it got preemptively nerfed, and now it's back. I don't know. With the light show, this deck looks awfully scary. I'm gonna love playing it. I got like 12 wins in Heroic Brawl playing this card, and I really did enjoy it, but it really is not fun to face. So very spicy buff. Mage needs a lot of help, and I don't know if this is the best way of going about it, but that's what they're doing, so look out for that. Haldurin Brightwing, I haven't read this card since it came out. 3 mana, 3/4 Hunter, Legendary Battlecry, give all arcane spells in your deck spell damage +1. I guess deck and hand, or you make it 2 mana, but probably deck in hand. I don't think you give it +2 spell damage. None of the other cards do that, so probably just better. But Arcane Hunter has literally not been a thing. I don't know if that helps it. Stranglethorn Heart, so I'm guessing it's going to 9, or maybe they go full Mordresh. Mordresh went from 10 to 8. They could do that. Maybe Even Hunter, big beast Even Hunter, doesn't need to get hurt, but probably 9 mana, I would think. Jazz Base, slap into base, probably gets 3 attack or goes to 2 mana, one or the other, but yeah, it helps Overload Shaman out a bit, cheat out some more mana. Altered Chord, probably gets the Torrent treatment, where it costs 4 less if you're overloaded, so it just costs 1 to deal 5 in lifesteal. You could go another route of giving it extra damage, but I could see going the Torrent route. We saw that before, where that was 1 mana deal 8 damage, no lifesteal, but that was pretty obscene. Lightning Storm, old card, getting buffed. I imagine Overload 1, Overload 2 for this effect in today's game is pretty ridiculous, and I think that would be a pretty fair change to it. Blow Rider, what are you changing on this? Are you making it a 1/2, a 1/3, a 2/1? Like, it's already premium statted tribal minion. I guess you can make the activation easier. Maybe just Battle Cry, discover a spell from your deck. I don't know. Like, what are you doing to buff this? Like, it's already not really that bad. So I'll be really curious to see what they do with that one. Crescendo, take fatigue damage, deal that much damage to all enemies. The weakest of the fatigue cards, at least in the early game, bump it to 2, right? 2 mana. And it's a little bit more flexible. Although the curve doesn't work very well with that. You could add like extra damage on top, but it doesn't work off the card text. So the only thing I imagine is 2 mana. Craze Conductor, I guess this goes to a 4/6. At 4 mana seems bloody broken, but I guess they do have that 4 mana 9/9 imp card already, so it's almost in line with that, right? Without a setup, really. Yeah, I see going to a 4/6 or 4 mana. 4 mana really scares me though. That is a lot of stats really early. Siphon Soul is going to 4, right? We got Drown, we got Cannibalize, we got Assassinate. They're all 4 mana, so 4 mana, right? I guess Assassinate should go to 3. It's not on the list though, by the way. Record Scratcher, and speaking of Rogue, of course we gotta buff Rogue, always. Even when they got a tier 1 deck. I know all the new cards suck, but still, come on. Do they gotta buff Rogue all the time? Record Scratcher either goes to 2, I hope not, gets 3 attack, probably more reasonable. Blingtron, this is going to ruin flavor. If they change the mana, the flavor is ruined. They change the stats, the flavor is ruined. So maybe they just change the weapons? Probably not. They're probably just going to ruin the flavor, give it more stats, or make it cheaper. One or the other. Holy Nova just got buffed like 3 weeks ago when they put the new core set in there. So I guess it's dealing 3 to all enemies, restore 3 health, or is it no, it's probably 3 mana. Probably making it 3 mana, or they could go crazy and go the old route of deal 3 damage to all enemy minions, like make it not go face again. I don't know, or whatever. But yeah, Priest needs better, cheaper AoE. I haven't tweeted that they need like Spirit Lash in the core set, so I think 3 mana would be a nice sweet spot for Holy Nova. Kiri, a card that should have been buffed when it came out. You can make it a 3/3, a 4/4. You can make it 3 mana. Tons of options. Still probably won't see play, but yeah, I think you make it cheaper probably. And then lastly, Death Blossom Whomper. This is already a big boy, premium statted, so I guess it goes to like a 5 mana 6/5, or you give it Taunt. That could be pretty good. And that's all of them that I'm aware of. So a lot of changes, not a lot of nerfs. I don't know how effective these will be. It's really hard to say. Some really spicy stuff, and but yeah, no paladin nerfs, no deathlight nerf outside of the 1 card, but I guess we'll have to see what the change with the classes. That could be huge, but overall, no Astalor nerf. There's a lot of, and no Renathal unnerf. Come on, where's my Renathal? It'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. We'll see the specifics. I'll link this tweet below if you want to take a look. They also outline some Battlegrounds changes, but my goodness, this is going to be a crazy patch. We'll have a full-on coverage of the patch notes when they come out, review the patch, give you guys new decks to play. Should be a lot of fun. Should be really interesting to see how everything goes, and maybe Wild will be playable too with the twig change. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.